What up, SGK peeps? This is Poke here again. Today we're going to go ahead and, on our true first-person GASP character, we're going to fix our aim from being like this to being like what I like to call perfect aim. So, let's go ahead and get started here. And first thing we're going to do real quick here, if you noticed, you may have seen this in the Discord, the head, how far down it goes and how far back it goes. There's a real super easy fix for that right here. It is in the sandbox character animation blueprint. In the animation graph, this section right here, just bypass it. You probably could go into this. I don't know much about blend spaces, but it moves the shoulders just a tiny bit. It mostly just moves the head, so I mean, it's not a great loss, really. But if you know anything about animation blend spaces, maybe you can fix it so it doesn't make the head tilt so much. But remove that, just bypass it. And now the head doesn't tilt quite as much. It still goes back a bit, but not down as much. So, all right. So now that that's done, first thing we're going to do here is let's go into our survival game kit animation sequences, and we will go into the rifle. Let's look for idle, and then just go ahead and right click on this one. Go to retarget, leave it set to auto generate, set this to the UEFN mannequin. We need to select our rifle idles here. Just do rifle idle. And we want the aim idle and the aim idle still. Want to retarget them, we'll go ahead and we'll put them in the UFN here. Let's make a new folder. Rifle. Export those. Oh, I don't know what. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. All right, so let's delete that. We don't need it. If you want a retargeter, you can do that, but we don't really need it for this. Let me go back. Where was I? Animations, survival game kit. Is the retargeter window still open? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. All right. So I clicked this when I should have clicked this. So put the same spot. Export. Should have known when that window didn't pop up. All right. So now we have our aim idle. And as you can see, there's a little tiny bit of sway going on in there. Maybe you can see that. It's very hard to see from the point of view, but there's a little bit of sway there. So save that. And then this one doesn't move at all. It's perfectly still. All right, so we got both of those. Next thing we're going to do here is go to, let's go ahead and get this part done real quick here. You want to go to the SGK, Blueprint, Other, enum. And we are going to go ahead and create a new enum here. So Blueprint, enumeration. We're going to call this we're going to call it holding weapon type. We're going to open it. We're going to add 3 for now. We'll call the first one none. We'll call this one rifle. And then pistol. Now, I mean, you could go later on if you wanted to, like if you had like completely different animations for every type of weapon you have, you can add them all in here, like maybe a sniper rifle or DMR type thing, or even melee weapons, whatever. You can add those all in here later. This is all we're worried about right now, so All right, once that's in, while we're still in here in the other folder, go ahead and go into interfaces. And we want to go to the SGK holdable interface, open that up. We're going to go ahead and add a new function. And we are going to call this SGK get holding weapon type. And then we want an output. We'll call this the held weapon. And then we want to set this to our holding weapon type enum. All right, so there's that. Save it, compile it. Next, we need to go to our master range weapon right here. And then if you go over here into the interfaces, you will see that we have our SGK get holding weapon type. Go ahead and double click it. Right click on it, promote to variable. Set it to instance editable. Save it, compile it. Next, we're going to go to our M4. And if you see right here, we have our held weapon. We're going to set that to a rifle. And then same thing for the pistol. Might as well go ahead and do the pistol animations while we're at it too. So I haven't messed with the pistol yet though, so but we'll go ahead and add it in this video as well. Might as well. So now that we've got that, let's go ahead and go back to our SGK animations and let's get our pistol idle aim stills. Doesn't really matter here which one we click on. UEFN. This was probably still open. I probably didn't need to open it, but that's right. So at least we have our pistols are both right here. I don't think there's any. I think the shotgun uses the same animations as the rifle. So. But again, if you have your own, then you want to copy them to the UEFN mannequin. Export them. We'll go ahead and put it back in the same place. UEFN, animations, create a new folder, pistol. Export, export, save them both. All right, so now that we have that, what we want to do is go into the characters, UEFN mannequin animations, and we are going to start off in going to motion matching data, go to databases, and we're going to go with dense, just this one, dense crouch idles. Actually, where's just regular idles? It doesn't matter. We'll just duplicate it. Or actually, let's find the stand idles just because. Stand idle. So find just the standard PSD dense stand idles, duplicate it, and then call that rifle or rifles, whatever. We'll call it rifles. And then you want to go ahead and duplicate it again and call it add still onto it. And then go ahead and duplicate it once more. Now we want pistols. And then duplicate that one as well and add still. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and open all these. All right, so first thing you want to do is delete that one. Just highlight it, hit your delete key. Boom, do that to all of those. And then what we want to do here is, so we're on our pistols, just pistols idles. Let's just search for pistol. And we want this one. And then this is pistol still. So pistol, pistol still. This one is going to be rifle. And that is the standard one. And then this is the rifle still. Go ahead and save all those. All of this should be fine right here. But while we're here, go ahead and just browse to that, open it up. And then we need to add 4 new slots here. And you guessed it, pistol, idles, pistol still. Oops. And rifles. And rifles again. And while we're here, we'll just go ahead and add them to here too. Might as well. Pistols. I honestly don't know what the difference. There's settings for like a load on the sparse and that switches between sparse and dense. I don't know what determines that. I think it's a console variable or like a any variable. I've never ever seen the sparse run, but we're just going to add it anyway because why not? Maybe one day when we figure out exactly how to turn that on, whatever it does, what the difference is. It just seems to have less animations in it. Maybe it's supposed to be like less intense. I don't know. If you're further away, possibly. Who knows? Anyway, just get those added. Let's see, we have our databases. We have our databases added here. Next, what we need to do is go to our sandbox blueprint, animation blueprint. Did I not connect something back up? I see in a T. Oh, there it goes. All right. Sometimes it does it when you edit animations and then you go to play an editor. Sometimes you'll be in a T pose for a minute, something to do with the motion matching. I'm sure it'll be better in time. But anyway. All right. So in here, what we need to do is go to the event graph. And let's see. That's all thread station here. I don't think you can get variables in thread safe, can you? I don't know. We'll just do it right here. Or actually right here. So go ahead and create a function. And we're going to call it get weapon data, I guess, is fine. And then we want to try get pawn owner. Gonna have a few is valids here. I don't think it's, you can't have too many. Who knows? But it's fine. And then from here, we want to get components by class. And set it to character component. Do an is valid here. From here, we want the player inventory. We want an is valid on it. This is the one that had any, if I ever had any issues, it was this one. So that one you definitely want to have on here. And then from here, we want to get a holding item. And from here, we'll do another is valid. And we need a reroute node, and we want to get our weapon type. Or what was it? What do we call it? Get weapon. Crap, what did I call that? Don't get old, people. All right, so where was that? Holdable interface. Get holding weapon type. All right, geez. Get holding weapon type. Is valid. Is valid. Another reroute. And we'll just duplicate that guy. Put him over here too, so we can get one more. And we want to get is aimed. I think it's SGK aim. SGK aimed. Oh, we need a little space right there. All right, then we're going to go ahead and promote that guy to a variable. And same here, promote that to a variable. And that's all we have to do here because we're reading. Oh, actually, there was one more thing. We have to call this function. So go back here and plug it in right there. Yeah, we're setting these variables on the animation blueprint, and they actually get called from the animation chooser, which is back up here in characters, UEFN mannequins animations, motion matching data in the pose search database dense. We're going to go ahead and open it up, and then this is where I need to take a look at my other one real quick here because I kind of forgot. Again, don't get old. All right, so let's see, it's this one, and we're going to go ahead and open up our chooser here. All right, so what we want to do is go into the stand idles. We're going to add 4, or actually, let's just go ahead and duplicate this one. You know what, let's delete that. Let's just copy it and paste it. And then do that 4 times. All right, so this one's going to be idle pistols. This will be idle pistol still. This one will be idle rifles, and this one will be idle rifle still. All those should stay the same. Going to go ahead and add a new column here, an enum, and we are going to set that to our new held weapon variable. This one we're going to leave none. All the rest of them, double click these to make, or double click this to make it any, except for the last 4. Pistol, pistol, rifle, rifle. Next, go ahead and add another column here. It's a bool. Set that to our aimed. And then we want these to be, it doesn't really matter except for down here. The first and third one are both going to be false. These are both going to be true. All right. That should technically be it. All right, we're in first person. Got a little bit of sway going on there. Oh, it's still swaying. Why is it still swaying? Okay, it took a minute to stop there. What are we missing here? Oh, I know it. I know it. I know. Yes. All right, so back into blueprints, ABP sandbox character. We need to go to the functions, motion matching, and then get interrupt mode. In here, we are going to go ahead and get our held weapon. And then we want to go not equal enum. And we'll leave it on none. And then I think we're going to go ahead and get a copy of the movement state here. I don't know if we necessarily need this. We probably don't need it. Let's just go ahead and try without it. So we want held weapon not equal to none. Look that up right there. And then what that's going to do is when we are not holding a weapon anymore, it should stop the current animation. If you notice when we went to go aim, it took a second. And that was because we were still moving. It was still kind of playing the stop animation. So now, yeah, it goes straight to aim. We just need to, now what we need to do is play with our socket offset and our animation layers, and we're there. And when you move, it's moving because you are moving, and it's moving with the rest of it. Once you stop, it rests right back down to aim. So if you have it, if we get it lined up, let's go ahead and we'll try and line it up a little bit. There is a Diffuse does have a video on this, but basically what we do is you go to your animation layer. And you go to details. Then you click on the skeleton. So we need the skeleton. Then we go up here and we go type in right hand IK, or just right is fine. Have that selected. Oh, why did it not select the details? There we go. All right, so we are adjusting the aim IK because the other one seems fine. So third person, hand IKs, third person to aimed, right hand IK. Go ahead and copy these numbers, the location and rotation, paste them in here. It just makes it easier because that's your starting point from where you start moving from. These are already set because that was the last thing I did in here. And then once you have that set, you want to adjust the right hand IK. Move that over to your other monitor. I'm going to go ahead and set this to selected viewport. That way you can kind of see what's going on here. All right, so one thing that makes this easier is if you go to, crap, I can't see it because it's hidden, but select this right here and set it to the world. Sometimes it's easier that way. Sometimes it's easier to have it like that, depending upon exactly how much you're trying to fine tune it. But this generally seems to be okay. You also want to zoom in and get as close as you possibly can to the actual little pivot point that we're playing with here. It just makes it easier to adjust. You can adjust it much smaller dimensions. Make sure that these are not blue because that locks it. Because you have that blue that locks it to 10 incremental movements. And then same for rotation. So if you unlock them, you get really fine movement. Another thing that helps is to turn your mouse sensitivity down as low as possible. So, with that done, let's go ahead and pick up a weapon. All right, so what happened here? Because it was supposed to, did I not enable? Yes, I did. It should already be in the, maybe it is, but it's because of the offset. But it's supposed to be in the aim position already, but let's see, does it move? No, something's not right. What's going on here? It can't possibly have to be the first person. There's no way. No, it wasn't working because it should have moved no matter what when I had the adjust right hand IK on. Interesting. What did we set our, let's see, character component? Yeah, that should be fine. That should be working. Is the M4 not using this layer for some reason? It has to be. That's not right. Let's see. M4 layer. Oh, that's why I was adjusting the wrong one. I forgot I made an extra one for this. All right, so my bad. Anyway, let's see. So let me go ahead and open up this animation layer. I'm going to do the same thing. You want to adjust. I'm going to go ahead and set these third person aimed hand IKs because it's going to be way off, probably, maybe. A little bit off. All right, so now that we have the adjust hand IK on, if we play in here and we grab a weapon, it should automatically go to the aimed position. Yeah, see it did. All right, so did it. Is it? All right, well, let's see. It should adjust now, though. Yeah, see, I can move it now, so let's get where we can see the crosshair. And let's bring this over here a little bit. And then zoom in more. Turn the mouse down. That's too slow. This is good. So up a little. It's kind of a pain. You have to. I think it's maybe a little bit harder in here because the GASP adds a little bit more to it. But basically, you just have to kind of get it to the right. Just keep kind of twisting it and turning it and moving it till it's lined up correctly. That's where the because we're doing it in the world space. Oops. In the world space here, it's combining it. So when I'm pulling it up, it's actually pulling it all three of them a little tiny bit. So like I said, sometimes it's better to go ahead and set some of it in here like so. All right, and then maybe we can drag it. It needs to go that way. It needs to go up a little. And we can rotate it a bit again. Oops. Feel like we went just a little bit too far. Let's go back this way. And then rotate it just a little more. Oops, wrong way. Yeah. So that's why it helps to have this lower mouse sensitivity. And then just aim it up a little bit here. And then that's pretty good. I mean, I'm going to just go ahead and be happy with that for now. And then what you do is once you have it set, go back to your skeleton here that you were adjusting it on, copy these numbers, paste them in here. And then make sure you turn off the adjust right hand IK. You don't need to save it. You can if you want, doesn't matter. And then now, as you can see, when we're sitting here, we got a regular zoom, and we aim in, boom. How freaking cool is that? So, let's take this one step further here. I mean, that's that. You can stop here if you want. But we're going to go one more step here. We're going to go ahead and go into our survival game kit, blueprints, controls. Go ahead and duplicate our aim input here. We will call this hold breath input. Just save it. We don't need to open it or anything. Go into the character inputs, add one. Hold breath. Save it. Back here. We'll go back to our interfaces, the holdable. And we are going to go ahead and we could add another function if we want to, but we'll just, since we're going to be needing it in the same spot, we're just going to go ahead and add a Boolean on here, and we'll go ahead and just holding breath. Save it back here. Back to our master range weapon. We can just go ahead and create our variable holding breath. And then what we need to do also is, I suppose we could have, because we need to make a set. I guess it doesn't matter. We need to go back into our interface because we need to make a set as well. Or actually, no, we're doing, we need to add buttons. So foldable, we have a server primary, server secondary, and same for client. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and add a SGK server hold breath. You could name this whatever if you want to make. Let's just, you know what? Let's just do that because we'll call it what we're going to assign it to initially, which is the middle mouse button. Middle mouse button. Oops. Server. And then we want to add an input onto it. We're going to just call that key down, just like the other ones. And then we'll go ahead and just, we can just duplicate it. Oh, I guess you can't. I'll just make a new one. SGK client. Middle mouse down, or middle mouse button. And same for it. Input boolean, key down. All right, next. We need to go to the player inventory. And where is that? The interaction. Yes. All right, well, you don't have to go in here, but we are. So we're going to go ahead and do it. All right, so as you can see, we have a server secondary action here and a client primary, server primary. Oops, what'd I do? All right, anyway, go back to the actions graph. Where is it? Oh, it was interaction, wasn't it? Yes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and create a new custom event. We'll call this server middle mouse. Needs an input, boolean, key down. Let's duplicate it. Call that one client middle mouse. Set that one to run on client. And this one to run on server. And then we can just copy that. So yeah, we do want this to be, well, this will be up to you. This is basically an interface. It'll be a key function from the character, and you can do whatever you want from it from the inventory, but for now we're using it as the hold breath function. So we want to make sure that we're holding the weapon so that it doesn't run when we're not holding the weapon. So and then as you see here, we want to go ahead and get a copy of that as well. And then we are, what is it? That holding breath. What did we, again, the memory. Let's just search for breath. There's probably not many. All right, what did we call the stupid thing? Client middle mouse button. And we want the message. That one goes here on the client. Copy that. And we want server middle mouse. Message. All right, so there's those two. Go ahead and add a comment here, middle mouse button. All right, so there's that. And then we want to go to our character, SGK, master character. go to the input graph. We'll just go ahead and add the middle. Oh, I called it hold breath, didn't I? No? Yes. Hold breath input. I guess we could have called this server middle mouse or just middle mouse button too, but whatever. This is what we need to do. So we got that. What are we doing? We are going to. We want the player inventory. Do we have it on here? Yes. Get player inventory. And then we want server middle mouse. And we want client middle mouse. And then we can just take a look at, let's say, the fire button over here. So we can copy that. Probably don't need to worry about the building part stuff. And then we get a copy of the player inventory here. Oh, we already have a copy of it over there. So we can just paste this in. Key down on those. And we duplicate them. That goes to completed. Hook those up. Those are not key down. And then we can take this guy and convert it to a validated get. And just duplicate it. And we don't have to worry about hooking this up here. This should be fine. That's how it's all done in all the other functions in here. So, all right, so that's that. Now when we hit our button on our character, we're calling the event up here, and then that's in turn calling the event onto our weapon. So now we need to go to the weapon and where did we do that at? Where did I do that? I didn't do it on this other project either. I think I did it. I only did that on my main. I'm gonna just might have to open that one up real quick if I can't remember this real quick. I'm just double checking to make sure that I did. There is no holding breath on that. So dang it. What did I do? Well, we definitely need to go. We can just put it. Is there a miscellaneous on this graph? Yeah, let's go into miscellaneous. And oops, we need to add our interface. Let's go back in the miscellaneous graph with those two. So that's what we need to do. All right, I'm not necessarily sure we need the client, but we'll find out. And then we have our holding breath button here. We're going to get a branch here. Key down, we're going to hook that one up to false. Same for this. And we're going to go ahead and just copy these. We want it to be on key down. And we want to get aimed. Because we only want to hold our breath when we're aimed. And then from the false on both of these, we're actually going to go ahead and add one of these. And next, Yeah, we need one here too. Now, technically, we don't really need to go any further than that, other than adding, of course, the... Oops, this should be false. Adding these. I mean, we could probably replicate this variable and not need the whole client one, but this works too, and that's how most of SGK is set up anyway. There's not a whole lot of replicated variables in SGK. But anyway, so that should be good. I don't like the way that looks, so let's move it like that. I don't like the back trace stuff like that. So anyway, now that we have our buttons down, let's just go ahead and make sure it's working. Holding breath. Should do nothing now, no message. Got the weapon. Oh, it's not working. Why is it not working? Okay. What I miss? Let's go ahead. Did I even? Yeah, I said it. What's it doing? What's the problem? I'm just looking in the. It doesn't even look like it's firing at all. And it's not. Why is it not? Okay. Oops. Back to controls. And we added it, right? Hold breath input. Oh, we didn't set a key to it. Let's. Yeah, we'll do middle mouse button. Why not? All right. Now, no message. We don't really need to hold breath in third person, I don't think, so we get rid of that. But as you can see, when we're aimed, it's doing it. Oops, that's not what I meant to open. All right, so now back to our holdable items. What are we on here? Client. Back to our master range. Yeah, we only had that on client, so. All right, so that's working there. Now what we're gonna do is, let's get the player inventory. I think this is how you do it. Let's see. Let's just take a look at player inventory real quick. Yeah, no, this is the way you do it, right? So we can decrease stamina by a certain amount, but it'd probably be better if we made like a timed event to do it. I'm not gonna do it, but that's a suggestion for you guys. So you make a timered event that runs decreased stamina while you're holding your breath. When you let go of your breath, it gets rid of that stamina or gets rid of that timer. The stamina already automatically increases, so just make it decrease faster than it increases while you're holding your breath, and you're good to go on that. But this is as far as we're going with that, so we're just holding our breath. This will be infinite holding breath. Because this video is already getting kind of long anyway, and we're basically done. So, all right, so now what we do is we go back to our characters, UEFN mannequins, animations, motion matching data, our post search databases, stand idles, and then in this section here, Did we add that? No, we did not. We need to go back to our blueprint, our animation blueprint for sandbox character. And in our get weapon data, we now need to go ahead and add our holding breath button as well. So promote to variable, add it in there, add a little rerow to make it look a little better. There you go. Now when we go here, we can add a new column, Boolean. We want to set it to our holding breath. This shouldn't matter on here. We just want to make sure that we set this one to false, that one to true, that one to false, and that one to true. And let's see, do we need to change that? I don't think we need to change those. Let's see. We might need to actually, but maybe not. Let's see. All right, so why did our arms not? Of course, it's doing a glitchy thing. Does every once in a while. Motion matching is not perfect. So now we're back to good. All right, we aim, and it's moving. Okay. Put it somewhere we can see it. See it moving. And I just held breath. Let go. It did not go back. Why did it not reset? Did we miss this reset somewhere? Holding breath, holding breath. Should be good. Key down, true. His aim, true. Let's go ahead and just do this too, since we don't need to be holding breath in third person. We will get the character component. From there we want camera view. Oops. And then from there we want a equals Boolean. And we'll make it a, let's add an and in here. And do the same thing up here. So now it should only hold breath when we're aimed. Maybe that's what messed it up. Or when we're in first person. First person. Grab a weapon. Let's doing this goofy thing again. Hit swing. We aim. It aims. It does not unaim. Why does it not unaim? Take a look at the chooser. So let's see, what do we got? False aimed on that. True aimed on that. Holding breath. Oh, you know what? This might need to be any. I doubt it, but let's just find out. I don't think that's it though. I might have to dig into my other project. And that one's If I do, I'm gonna have to stop the video because it's gonna take like 10, 15 minutes to load. Got a lot of stuff on it. All right, so now it automatically went to aim, so that's not good. So wait, that one should be true. So that's aimed, right? Yeah. Aimed and holding breath. Could this be any? So swaying there, swaying there, holding breath, letting go of breath, and it's working. All right. There we go. So now both of those should work perfectly fine. Yeah, that should be good. These could actually be true as well. All right, let's go ahead and set up our pistol. We're just gonna do the basics. We're not gonna fine tune it really because we don't really need to. Anyway, so all right. So we haven't adjusted the socket. And speaking of that, I would definitely recommend that you set your socket on your weapon before starting to mess with the holdable layer or your weapon layer, whatever the hell you want to call it, because you just want to get as close as possible to being on. That will save you a lot of time as far as trying to fine tune it. So let's go ahead and play with the pistol here. Take a look at it. It's off a bit. One thing too, forgot to mention here, when you are any weapon that you want to use that has like the hold breath or whatever, or anything like to use that still animation, what you need to do is go into the layer for your weapon and under third person animations, under the third person aimed animations, you want to make sure that your aim idle, this one right here, is the still. Because if you use the standard one, even when we zoom in, we're still going to have some sway here. Or even when we're holding breath. We got some sway. Now we're holding breath, but there's still sway. That's because of that animation I just told you. We need to have this one in place in the layer if you want to have the completely still. So just set that to the still. And now we have still. Oops. Oh, I didn't even pick up a weapon yet. Hey, trying to switch to something we don't have yet. All right, so we aim in. We got our little bit of sway. Zoom, hold breath, and we are completely still. Let go. We're swaying a little bit again. Okay, so perfect. Next, again, we're not going to play with the layers on this. We're just going to get it in the basic location. So let's try about 6. This looks about right. And nice thing about this is that you can actually, to test it, so we got 6. Let's try it at 7. We can actually just type in our number over there, and then when we come back in, we're there once we zoom in. So 7.2, let's see. Almost there. Now, I'm not going to get it completely right on. well, what I am gonna test my hold breath to see exactly where it's at. But because when you start adjusting the layer, you might have to still move it a little bit. So this would be good enough for the layer because all you have to do is should have to do is just kind of twist it a little bit, and it should hopefully line up, and then go from there. And it's just be the same thing for any weapon you add. You're gonna have to make sure you have a still version of the aim, get it in the general location, and then go ahead and set up your layers. And then one thing I would recommend that when you do your layers is that you go back into, easiest way to do it is to go back into the pose search database and then just set to make sure that you could just go ahead and, even for now, you could just get rid of the holding breath for the stills. Get rid of this one, and then when you aim in, it should automatically go to still. Let's see. So delete that. Come back in here. No, that didn't work. So we would have to, how would you do that? You want to make it so that it's still when you're aimed in. And then that do it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, when you go to adjust your layers, you definitely want to have your weapon not swaying around. It definitely makes it way easier. So that's how you do that. Set the regular idles to false. Remove the aim and have those two on true. And then to get back, just set this back to any. Re-add your bool column for holding breath. And those are going to need to be true too, right? Yeah, aimed and true. And this, what we had these at any, right? I forget. We went through this in the last little bit. That was a thing that we had an issue with. I thought. Maybe not. Okay, so yeah, it's not. Now it doesn't want to hold breath. Wasn't this any as well? No, it was. It had to be aimed. Dang it. Is that it? All right. Well, that is it. That is the perfect aim tutorial for SGK true first person plus GASP integration. So you guys have a good one.